So my name is Samuel McGurk. I'm a digital commerce consultant here at CyberSource, a Visa solution. And today I'm going to be talking to you about closing the digital divide and why payments are strategic. So before we start, a short confidentiality notice. Happy to share this round with anyone that would like to read it in more detail post today's session. Or if you have any questions around anything I'm going to be discussing today, please feel free to reach out to me after. I'll be at the show for the rest of the day. So the world we live in is rapidly changing to a digital-first mindset. Never a better time to be a consumer. The emergence of mobile has allowed shoppers to shop from anywhere at any time, truly merging offline and online in a true omni-commerce experience. With up to 60% of Westerners claiming to be digital natives, and global digital payments surpassing cash payments for the first time in 2016, mobile is a key strategy for every retailer here today. But one of the biggest challenges we see retailers facing in today's digital economy and when they are trying to address the digital divide in their business is how to best adapt to current trends of technology as well as customer experience. Disruptive brands such as Amazon, Uber and Just Eat are not only just launching new technologies into the market, but also fundamentally changing the customer experience day to day. These are just a few examples of businesses that have had to fundamentally change the business model and the way they're interacting with their clients to be able to keep up with those trends. IKEA, for example, selling through a marketplace solutions through third parties, where they traditionally sold purely from a B2C model. This is due to the expansion of the global business, they need to try and reach out to more markets. Or Tesco launches their 1-hour delivery service, Tesco Now. This is a direct response to Amazon's Amazon Prime model, where customer experiences, the delivery time is shortening every year on year, and businesses need to catch up. But the question retailers need to be asking themselves is, how do we adopt to these customer trends? Are we built internally to be able to provide this function the customers are requesting from us? So as we look around ourselves, we are moving into a connected world. Devices in our everyday world are coming to life. As at home with the adoption of Amazon and the voice technology, or in our cars driving to work with connected cars. Being able to pull up to a petrol station and not having to get your wallet out any time, your car being recognised at the forecourt, so your loyalty points are automatically registered as well. But what this means for retailers is a tremendous amount of opportunity for more ways to be able to engage through different channels as well. The Internet of Things is enabling these connected devices not only just as stationary items anymore, but merging them as payment devices, providing more channels for you to engage with your consumers in every day. Traditionally, cash and card payments were king, and your bricks and mortar store and your e-commerce environments were the places to buy. Now with Internet of Things and connected devices, every device is a payment method. From washing machines that can recognise when their dishwasher tablets are low to be able to reorder, or your fridge that can recognise when your milk's running low, so reorder straight away using Tesco Now, so you get that 1-hour delivery. But this is a challenge. Retailers need to be asking themselves, do I have the right technology internally to be able to match this current trend? As consumers are expecting more additional ways to be able to pay. When they come into store, am I supporting contactless? Am I supporting Apple Pay? What other technologies am I utilising to make sure that best customer experience is being had each and every time? This is challenging itself though. With these new technologies and these new customer expectations, businesses need to scale at a tremendous rate into this digital age. The digital gap is growing wider and wider for more and more businesses. We recently did a study to understand how quickly and what impact the digital economy and the digital strategy is having on businesses. So we'll start off with these three brands, Visa, Windows and Google. And this graph shows time to get to 1 billion users on their platform. So you can see, back in 1958, it took Visa 42 years to reach 1 billion users. Obviously, Windows shortened that quite dramatically, and Google in 1998 almost halved that. This is a true reflection of how much impact the digital economy is having on the growth of businesses, and how important it is that as a business, you need to make sure you're equipped with the right tools to be able to adapt to these changes. And then we have Facebook, Android, and Wechat. Wechat only took 5 years from its first founding to get to 1 billion users on their platform. That's a tremendous amount of growth, but with that comes a tremendous amount of customer expectation as well. Are you able, as a business, be able to keep up with that trend? So as we delve a little bit more into detail, as you can see, this graph shows the S&P 500 index longevity of a business. So way back in 1995, the average business was running between 35 to 40 years of a lifespan. But as you can see, as this graph continues, this lifespan is decreasing year on year. This is a direct influence of the digital economy and that digital gap widening and widening, where brands aren't engaging with their consumers as much as possible. There's some key elements to this change, obviously the developments of technology, developments of customer experience, and a lot of brands are failing and dropping off the radar, as you can see. But there is retailers that are out there that are doing it right, and there's some key attributes that they're engaging with and building into their key economy, their key strategies. One of them being customer experience. It's age-old tradition, but keeping a customer front of mind at all your engagements is key. But it's expanding from just understanding about what sort of products your consumer potentially wants. It's expanding that and understanding more about the end-to-end ecosystem that your customer's engaging you with. How do they originally get to your brand? What sort of research are they doing? What is your influence on social media ambassadors to be able to drive customers towards your brand and your engagement point? Security. As we all know, I believe yesterday, Facebook recently had a big data breach. It can take 25 years to build a brand, or in today's digital economy, about 4 to 5 years, but it can take 24 hours for it to be destroyed. And to build that credibility back up with your consumers is a great challenge. So keeping security front of mind is a challenge for all retailers. And operation agility. A question you need to be asking yourselves as retailers is how quickly can we evolve to these changes that are happening? How quickly can we implement new technologies and counter these disruptive brands that are pushing new customer experiences into the marketplace? If you're not agile, you are facing yourself with an adapt or die scenario. As we dig a little bit more deeper into the brands that are doing this well, that we're engaging with each and every day, there's some key pillars we're seeing in terms of these engagements. The first being executive sponsorship. So your digital strategy needs to be fed from the top down. Every part of the business needs to understand what you're trying to achieve and where you're trying to go. Without this full vision across the whole business, you're going to fail. It's quite plain and simple, unfortunately. Driving technology as well. As we touched on earlier on, there's a tremendous amount of new technology emerging into the market. But what's the right technology for your business? That's what you need to be asking yourself. Is beacon technology right for your business as a direct retailer? How are you implementing loyalty points, and how can customers spend those loyalty points? There's a multitude of new technologies coming in, but it's finding that balancing act to make sure you don't disturb the customer experience and it's seamless and safe at all times. Cross-channel interplay. Consumers are expecting more and more to be able to be recognised through multiple different channels. They want to be able to use the same payment type across multiple channels. They want to utilise their loyalty points. They want to be able to walk into a store and be recognised as a repeat customer and be welcomed with potential offers or discounts. Whereas traditionally, you walk into a store or go onto an e-commerce site, unless you've logged in, you're a complete stranger. Crossing these channels together in a seamless way is a real challenge for a lot of retailers without being too intrusive of the customer experience. And payments as an experience. There's more and more payment types coming into the market, as we can see. Obviously Klarna just away from us, obviously Braintree as well, providing a tremendous amount of new payment types into the industry. But what payment types are right for your business? What payment types are right for your consumers? This may change from region to region, but you need to understand, obviously, this from a customer experience standpoint. You spend all this time recognizing the right customer for you, driving them through a seamless customer experience through your website or in store, and if they get to the checkout page and the payment type they want to use isn't available, they're going to drop off and go to another retailer. And all that hard work you've put in previously is completely wasted. And once again, agility, I can't name it enough, unfortunately, that it's a key element to any digital strategy, because the digital gap will change and will widen and shorten year on year. So as a business, you need to make sure that you're able to be agile enough to be able to close that as and when you're faced with it. It's everyone's favourite buzzword, but big data. Big data is making more and more of an impact on retailers each and every day. But the question as a retailer you need to be asking yourself is, well, how am I utilising big data? What data do I have as a business, and what other third parties can I utilise? Visa has a tremendous amount of data around our customers and our engagements, but we still utilise other platforms to be able to build on that more and more, so we can engage with our merchants to give them a full spectrum. Consumers expect a 360 view of all their engagements. They want you to know about their past history. They want you to know that using machine learning, they want you to be able to recognise potential additional products they want to sell into you. Once again, this comes with its own challenges of managing that data in the right way as we move into a GDPR and PSD2 environment. But we can't underestimate how much data is available and how much consumers expect you to be utilising that in your digital strategy. So next we're going to be talking a little bit about the three main channels you'll be experiencing when you're looking at your digital gap. The question you need to be asking yourself across online, in-store, in-app, where are my defaults? Where am I not meeting customer expectations? Where can I utilise more technology? So we see there's a multitude of different engagement points across these different channels. So the first being online, traditionally kind of a very popular channel, but with the online brings its own challenges in terms of research. Consumers You don't have a customer service rep to be able to engage the consumer more. So they go onto your website, they may have multiple other browsers open at the same time, price checking, seeing about comparable reviews. Account creation. Do you require your customer to be able to log into an account to be able to make further purchases and be recognized for preferential kind of items utilizing machine learning? When you move into in-store, beacon technology is becoming more and more used each and every day. Understanding about being able to be recognized when you walk into the store, utilizing obviously tokenization information as well to be able to utilize and pull in their own previous payment data. Collection and customer service. So when a customer wants to pay, how do they want to pay? Do they want to stand in a queue and talk to someone about the item? Do they want to tap and go? Do they want to be able to pay for the item and have it shipped directly back to their own house or place of work? All these factors you need to be considering when you're building out your digital strategy, because as it grows year on year, this is the customer expectations, and that gap will continue to grow unless you address it. And in the app, the explosion of app as a commerce channel is grown year on year, and customer expectation is growing with that as well. So you need to be asking yourself, firstly, how is my app performing in the App Store? That's the first thing a lot of people will look at in terms of reviews. What additional value am I bringing to my consumer utilizing my app? When you look at your phone, everybody's got a multitude of different apps, potentially a few for the same sort of retailers. How is yours going to stand out compared to every other retailer's? What is that kind of X factor customer experience you're going to be offering them? And how do you engage them as a brand ambassador as well? So once they've made that purchase, how easy is it for them to be able to share that cross-channel? How easy is it to be able to talk about how great their customer experience was? These three individual channels need to be merged as one to really truly close the digital gap. And it's a tremendous challenge. It's not easy, to say the least. That's why we work with consumers each and every day and retailers in the focus to be able to advise on how to do this. But next I'm going to show you a quick video around the platform called Wechat. So anyone that isn't aware of what Wechat is, it's like the WhatsApp used in Asia, but what they've utilized is these three channels all within a single app. So they've tried to create a whole ecosystem for your commerce experience, from your communication to your shopping to your everyday engagements, all in one place to stop obviously the transition away.
Hypothetically, imagine you're sitting at home and one day you notice your corgi is dirty. You open Wechat, hit a few buttons, and a few hours later a man shows up at your door with some shampoo and a big vacuum. Your dog gets cleaned and he looks great. You take a photo, you share it with your friends, and tag the dog cleaning business. You haven't left the app. Your friend who likes Hello Kitty and works a boring office job is slacking off at work and looking at Wechat. She sees the photo of your clean corgi. She decides she wants her poodle clean. She clicks the tag on your photo and orders the same service. Within seconds, the man with the big vacuum is on his way to her house. She pays him, and he's happy because he got paid instantly on Wechat. She starts chatting with you to thank you. Neither of you have left the app. While chatting, she tells you about a new hip noodle joint. She says, you have to come. It's a schlep, but you accept. She orders food while still at her desk. You order a taxi. She pays for the food. On the way to her house, the man with the big vacuum invests the money he earned from both of you into a wealth management product that's probably a little too risky. Neither of you nor the man with the big vacuum have left the app. Both of you arrive and the app tells the kitchen you're there. Your Wechat profile photo pops up on the wall. It's an old photo from the year you had that weird part in your hair. Of course she makes a comment. Your food is served. You notice your meat is a bit overcooked, so you snap a photo and post a disparaging restaurant review. You're already on your phone and you remember you still owe your friend money because she paid. You transfer her money. Neither of you, the man with the big vacuum, nor the restaurant have left the app. At the restaurant, there are no menus, there are no waiters, there is no cashier. There is only Wechat.
I'm sure you can agree, a very powerful app and something that we're not very far off here in the UK and across Europe. You imagine if you had one app that you could do all those engagement points across your everyday life. You don't have to go swapping in and out of different apps. It's all in one central place, running from one platform, and everyone else is adopting this as well. There are disruptive brands that are trying to build this and trying to push it into today's market, but we need to be asking yourselves as retailers is how quickly can I adapt to this change? If the coming years this was the standard norm, then what do I need to consider in terms of my logistics of my business to be able to deliver on this? Have I got the right payment types enabled to be able to utilize all within one platform? Have I got the back-end logistics to be able to shorten customer service times in terms of expectations? And the screen's just unfortunately switched off, but we'll continue anyway. This is a constant challenge we're seeing of retailers at the moment, and it is what you purely need to be addressing in terms around the digital divide. See if we can jump that up. Excellent, thank you. So the key takeaway is, I hope obviously, today we've talked a little bit about closing the digital divide, some factors you need to be considering in terms of building out your digital strategy. But the question I have to all of you is, do you want to adapt, or are you going to adapt, or are you going to die? That's the world we live in at the moment. The digital economy is not going anywhere. It's growing year on year. You need to align yourself with the right sort of partners to make sure you're able to capitalize on this digital economy and its growth. You can either take 47 years to build a brand, or you can take 2 to 3 years. The question's really down to yourself. And ensure that making payments is a key part of that digital strategy as well. You don't want to put all this hard work into obviously engaging with the customers, identifying the right customers, getting them through a seamless customer experience, but when they get to the checkout page, the right payment types aren't there for them to be able to pay for, and the whole process has been wasted. Thank you very much for your time today. If anyone does have any questions, feel free to reach out to me after. Thank you very much.